Alright, so this is the Zeiss f1.8 55mm lens for Sony full frame cameras. Now being that this is an f1.8 lens, I'd like to try this out with some low light photography. So luckily for me, it's snowing outside right now and it's midnight, so there shouldn't be a lot of traffic. I want to take this bad boy out, get some night photography shots, and share the results with you guys and see how this performs in a low light scenario. When we get back, I'll go ahead and go through some of the technical specs, I guess. That's all the boring stuff. Let's get outside. All right, so I think the plan is to go down to one of my local cities and do some street photography there. I might try and get some shots of the river along the way. We'll see what the lighting looks like. But this car's pretty good in the snow. Not worried about that. Let's see what we can get. All right. I think it's not snowing hard enough for it to damage my camera gear. So we're gonna see. Oh. Get that tripod. Okay, so I think there's a mural right behind this wall. There is. See it? It's pretty cool. Let's see if we can get a good shot of that. All right, so we've got my camera set up here. I'm gonna do a little bit longer exposure, like 20th a second. What is it? What do we got here? f2.5 ISO 100. It'll come out pretty good. Let's see. See if we can get one in the street here. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, things are starting to get pretty wet. So I'm gonna get a few more shots here. And let's see if we can move to a different location. I think they're coming out pretty good. I'm kind of stoked that I can get it on F100. I'm really testing some low light performance here. Like, it's not that bad. 1/50th of a second, f2.5 ISO 100. Oh, I think it's wet. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it quits, guys. Try and get some shots of the river, I think, if I can find a good parking space. If not, we'll head back to the office. But pretty good low light test, I think. God, it's so beautiful out. Look at this. So there's actually this really cool train bridge. It's pretty dark. Probably gonna be a nice test of a low light shot. So I'm gonna sit on my tripod, see what we can get. All right, let's see. I feel it's kind of weird walking around the neighborhood with a camera at midnight. Not gonna lie. All right, let's see what we can come up with. We'll put this guy down while I focus on the shot. All right. Now it's time to go back to the office. I'm actually probably gonna go right to bed, and then tomorrow morning I'll shoot the rest of this video and finish off the review on this lens. So, get you back in the office, guys. All right, so we made it back safe and sound. That was actually a pretty fun trip. I think I got some pretty good shots. Go into a couple of the tech specs of this lens, and real quick, guys, this is a first impression type review. I have only had this lens for about a few months, and this is actually the first time I've been using it. One of the things that I've actually been considering a little bit more is how often do I actually use a prime lens, and turns out not that often. This 24-70 Sigma lens is my go-to lens for most things. I just don't really see the use case for a prime lens, at least for my sort of photography style. Granted, it is f1.8, great in low light scenarios. I did use this in a wedding where I didn't have a flash. Came in handy, got some pretty good low light photos at that wedding. But overall, I haven't really been using many prime lenses yet. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have better luck using prime lenses. So the first thing I want to touch on is the build quality of this guy. It feels very durable, it's very well made. I think this was one of Sony's very first full frame lenses, and you can't really tell. It's built very, very well. The only downside is there isn't an O-ring on here, so I'm not too sure if the weather sealing is that good. Now, I did have it out in the snow for pretty long, and I don't see any condensation or anything like that. So as long as you're not taking it into a giant rainstorm, I think you're gonna be okay. The autofocus with the Sony A7R III seemed to work flawlessly, had no issue even in low light scenarios, picking up focus points just fine. Anyways, guys, it is a pretty good lens for the budget it's on at around $900. You're getting an f1.8 55mm prime, and it's a good piece of glass. If you're into prime lenses, especially like portrait photography, stuff like that, where you're not really needing the dynamic range of a zoom lens, this might be a pretty good lens to pick up. Just keep in mind, if you're just getting into photography and you're looking to pick up some lenses for your new camera, full frame lenses are kind of unique to work with. You might want to invest in a decent zoom lens first, so that way you have a little bit better like range, a little bit better like forgiveness. Only with the 55mm lens or any other prime lens, you're kind of set in that focal length, which is cool in certain scenarios, don't get me wrong. It makes for kind of like an artistic challenge, if you will. But starting off, look into zoom lenses. Now guys, I know I haven't been posting that much this past month, but that's gonna change because it's a new year, new schedule. Gonna try and get onto that 1 video a week schedule. I'd like to get to 1.5 videos a week for the rest of this year. It's kind of my goal. Goal with my Instagram too is to get to 365 posts, so 1 photo per year. So if you want to follow my Instagram, it's at joseph.valenti.yt. Really appreciate it. If you like this content and like this video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe down below. At some point this year, I'll be doing photography trips out west, getting some desert shots. And also you can follow me along my journey growing my photography business. I'm doing wedding photography this year. I have 3 clients booked so far. I did 4 last year. So growing that, it's a slow process, but again, starting from scratch, had no formal training and just trying to learn all this stuff on the fly. So if you're like me, you haven't gone to school for photography and you've always wanted to, but for whatever reason you haven't, maybe you can learn something along the way with me, and as I try and grow this photography business from scratch, not knowing much. All right guys, anyways, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.